Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I know we've been on quarantine for a while now, and we're all trying to maintain ourselves, and a lot of the places we would go to for self-care are closed, and a lot of vendors from China who would sell these wigs are closed also. So I'm going to show you how you can revamp an old wig that you may have in your closet. The first step is going to be removing the lace glue. So here I'm just using some Dawn dish soap, and this is a hack that I just happened to stumble upon while cleaning my wigs. I was tired of using alcohol. I felt like it was too harsh, so I decided to use this method. And we're just letting it sit on there for 5 minutes. And now I'm coming back to rinse off all of that dish soap that we have on our lace. So as you can see, I'm taking a wet washcloth here and trying to get a lather up on the lace so that the glue comes right off. And I'm just moving the washcloth in a downward motion to help release all of that lace glue that has built up over time on our wig. And as you can see, the glue is coming right off. We don't have to do any extra scrubbing or add any additional products. And yeah, we're good to go. So once all of that glue is removed, we can go ahead and rinse out all of the Dawn soap that we used, and we can see that our lace is squeaky clean. It's perfect. Once you start using that hack, I promise you won't go back to alcohol. So now we can begin washing our wig, and I'm just using some argan oil shampoo from OGX, and I'm making sure I have a nice thick lather to prepare our wig for the conditioning part. So you can see here that I'm making sure to really work in the shampoo into the lace closure. I had previously tinted this closure. However, I'm not going to be retinting, so I just wanted to make sure I got out as much product as possible. And then I'm just going to thoroughly rinse out all the shampoo. For a conditioner, I'm going to be using the Tresemme Keratin Smooth with Marula Oil Pro Collection Conditioner. And just working that all into the wig, making sure I thoroughly get the tips and the lace of the wig as well. When you condition the lace, it helps maintain the integrity of the lace, keeps it nice and soft, and prevents it from lifting. And actually, the softer your lace is, the better it will lay. So that's a good tip to when you're washing and trying to maintain all of your wigs and weaves. Always make sure you condition that lace. So I'm just working it in all over, and then I'm going to put it into a plastic bag, and I'm going to let that sit for like 15 to 20 minutes. So after about 20 minutes, we're going to go ahead and rinse out our wig. I don't think I mentioned where the wig is from, but it's from Nadula Hair. It's a 5x5 closure wig, and this is in, I think, Brazilian curly in 22 inches. And I will put the link to this wig down in the description box. So now the wig is thoroughly washed, and I'm just adding it to my wig head. This is a 23 circumference wig head that I picked up from Amazon. Both the wig head and the stand is from Amazon, and I will make sure to link that down in the description box. So I'm just brushing out all the hair, getting out all the tangles, and assessing what I need to do to revamp this curly wig. So to add some moisture back into the hair, I am using Aunt Jackie's Quench Moisture Intensive Leave-In Conditioner. That's a mouthful, but I'm adding that all into the wig and making sure I go from the lace down to the tips of the wig. And as you can see, the curl is really starting to pop at this point. And then as a hair polisher, I'm using the African Essential hair polisher. And this I just got for free at the local beauty supply store. I spent a lot of money there, so you know, she just threw it in the bag, but I think it's like $2 or $3 at most. So it is the next day. I let my wig thoroughly dry on my wig head, and this is what the curl pattern looks like once it is dried. No mousse, anything like that. So it's a nice fluffy curl. I'm just looking at the lace to see if I need to cut cut out any bald spots, and as you can see, I have some balding at the edge. So I'm just taking some hair scissors and cutting where there is absolutely no hair on the lace. So once we're done removing all of this excess lace, I'm going to add a elastic band to this wig. So this wig is actually too small for my head. My head is big as hell, and that's why I have to add an elastic band. So, the purpose of this video is to use what we have at home. I didn't have any extra elastic. So what did I do? I cut off the elastic from a dome stocking cap. And I just measured my head. And as you can see here, I'm making sure that it fits on the wig properly. But yeah, it's the same elastic. I just cut it off. And I'm using it for my wig. I'm repurposing here. So I'm not a wig expert at all. I'm just showing you a method as to how I sew on an elastic band. So here I'm just laying the elastic flush against the side of the closure, and I'm taking some nylon thread and a needle, and I'm just sewing the elastic band on. So I'm just doing a pull and loop method. I think that's what it's called. That's what I call it. And I'm just sewing on the elastic band, but obviously you would use any sewing method that works best for you. So I'm just finishing up the sewing on this elastic band, and I sewed it twice, going to the left and then to the right. And then to close this off, I'm doing 3 loops around the needle, pulling it, and that is going to add a knot to the end of our thread. So now I'm just going to flip the elastic band over and do the same thing on the other side. So once I finished sewing on the elastic band, I went ahead and flipped the wig back, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, the wig fits nice and snug against the wig head. So I'm just taking a wide tooth comb and figuring out where I want to part the wig. I'm not styling it yet, but I just want an idea of where my part will actually sit. So to define the part a little bit more, I'm taking some mousse and I'm just adding that to the part just to make sure the part is straight, get away any flyaways from the front of the lace so that we don't have any extra hair when we're ready to glue down the unit. And this is just going to make sure everything lays flat. I'm just assessing to see if I need to redo the part, making sure everything is combed back, and yeah. So now it's time to go ahead and put the wig on. I have my Meek Mills in, and I'm just securing the back of the wig, making sure to hold on to the front so that everything fits how it's supposed to, and voila, this is how the wig looks. Not styled, not glued down or anything, and it looks pretty good. I mean, honestly, I probably could have wore it like this, but yeah, it looks cute. So once I have the wig adjusted to where I would like it to sit, I'm going to add some scalp protectant. right before my edges just to ensure I don't break out. This is the Walker's Scalp Protect that I'm using, and I'm just going to let that dry. And I'm just adding another layer of the Skin Protect. As of lately, my skin has been starting to break out from lace glue, so I just recently started using this skin protectant. Now I'm going to be using the Bold Hold glue. I love this glue so much, and I'm just adding a thin layer. I'm going to spread that out with the back of tweezers because I don't have any popsicle sticks. And yeah, I'm just making sure that's all even and clear before I add another layer of the Bold Hold. So I've added 3 layers of the Bold Hold lace glue, and I'm just going to spread that out. And once it is clear and tacky, I am going to install my wig. So once the glue is dry, I'm just rearranging my wig, making sure it's in the area I want it. And I'm going to lay that bad boy right on top of the glue. And I'm just looking into a mirror, making sure everything is nice and laid. And then I'm going to take a rat tail comb and gently press the lace into the glue. So once I'm done gluing down the lace, I'm just pressing in again with my rat tail comb, making sure everything is flat and secure. And then I'm just going to be pulling out the hairs that I would like to make into baby hairs. And honestly, in this clip, it looks like my wig is too far back, but honestly, I just have a big head, so there's nothing I can do about that. But to camouflage that, we're going to make some baby hairs here. So I'm just taking out the hair and making sure it's flat against my forehead, and then I'm going to add a scarf on to not only melt the lace, but to lay down the baby hairs in the direction that I would obviously want them to go. So now it's time to begin styling my baby hairs. I'm just brushing them out after I've taken my scarf off, making sure it's not stuck to any glue, because you know, girl, we don't want no stuck on baby hairs or nothing like that. So now I'm going to start cutting my baby hairs to the length that I want them. The shorter your baby hairs are, the more natural. The longer your baby hairs, the more dramatic they look. So it's all about personal preference. Cut them to any length that you want. And then once that's done, we can begin styling them. So now I'm just taking the same mousse that I used earlier, adding that to my hairline and my actual wig. And I'm going to begin swooping my baby hairs. I really don't have a technique for this. Honestly, I learned off YouTube. I personally feel like the baby hair queen is Erica J. I'll link her YouTube down below. She is like the queen of baby hairs, and if anything, this technique here I learned from her. She's the bomb, so make sure you go check her out. But you just style your baby hairs however you want them. You can see I'm pulling hairs out. I'm going to be cutting some hairs to make it lay like how I would want it to. So once we're done laying our baby hairs, I'm going to add my scarf back on to really lay down those edges and melt the lace. And then while that's on, I'm going to begin actually styling the wig. So I'm going to start off with defining my part, taking my wide tooth comb and getting a nice crisp part. And I'm just taking a wide paddle brush and brushing out all of the curls, making sure there's no tangles, and then going back in with my rat tail comb and really defining my part. So now I'm going to take some Murray's Edge wax. Obviously you could use a wax stick, but I don't have one. This is what I have on hand. Again, we're being resourceful, and I'm going to add that to the part. And then I'm going to press that area out with a hot comb. Once that is all pressed out, I'm going to take my water bottle. This I got from Amazon. It's like a mister. And I'm going to add that to all of my hair so I can begin adding some products to really define the curl pattern. So now I'm going to take a liberal amount of mousse, the same mousse from earlier, and add that all over the hair. So I have taken my scarf off, and this is how she is looking. Okay, she is coming together. I'm just going to add a little bit more water to it. It dried a little bit over the last few hours that I had my scarf on to really go ahead and cure the lace glue, but she is it. Okay, she came together nicely. She looks good. So at this point, you know, I'm feeling myself, a little slow-mo. You know, the curl pattern is so pretty on this hair, and the fact that I had this wig for over a year and it can still look like this is crazy. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.